Hey fight fans, I'm Sarah Davis and you're watching Fight News Now Extra. Another fight is added to UFC 156. A fighter announces his retirement and we'll update you on Hector Camacho. All that and more is coming up next in the Newsmakers, and after that we'll hear what our MMA panel has to say, so here we go. Super Bowl weekend is looking better and better. A welterweight affair between Eric Silva and Jake Huron has been booked for UFC 156 in Las Vegas. Silva most recently dropped a unanimous decision to John in October, and Huron suffered a loss when he went the distance with Jake Ellenberger at UFC on FX5. So Dan Hardy said that he doesn't want to fight Matt Riddle, who has been calling him out. But if he had to choose, Hardy would like to coach the Ultimate Fighter against Josh Koscheck and then fight him in the finale. No word on what Koscheck thinks of this matchup. The string of bad luck continues for former UFC fighter Denis. He wrote on his Facebook page that his family home burned down on Thursday morning and that no one was hurt. Just last month, the UFC released him after he couldn't make weight due to personal issues. They sent him home with his show and win list. Canadian bantamweight Denis has announced his retirement from MMA, stating that he was starting to feel the effects of hits to the head. Denis has a master's in biochemistry and has put his PhD on hold to fight, but he says he's reached his goal of making it to the UFC and would like to take care of his brain for the future. Over to the boxing world, former champion Hector Macho Camacho has been declared brain dead. He was shot in the face on Tuesday night while sitting in the passenger seat of a parked car at a bar near San Juan, Puerto Rico with his friend, who was also shot and killed. Doctors said they have done everything that they can, and Camacho remains on life support while his family decides what to do. Now that is the latest combat sports news going into the weekend. Let's take it over to John Pollock and John Ramdeen. And guys, looking at MMA this weekend, not a whole lot going on. So let's jump ahead to December. What are you guys most looking forward to?
Well, I know this man is very excited. He thought that his long-lost love, BJ Penn, had retired for good after the Nick Diaz fight. He is coming back. He is going to be served up to Rory MacDonald in a welterweight showcase for Rory MacDonald. But you feel here, BJ Penn, what kind of BJ Penn
is that really what this is? Is that what people think, that this is, that BJ Penn is being served up to Rory MacDonald? Because if I remember,
that is certainly what this is designed to do, John.
Wait a second. If I remember correctly, it was BJ Penn that asked for this fight after his loss to Nick Diaz. BJ Penn says that he was retired, but this fight with Rory MacDonald piqued his interest, and he says that he's willing to come out of retirement. Not only is he coming out of retirement, BJ Penn is taking this fight absolutely seriously. He knows that Rory MacDonald is the future and the present of the UFC welterweight division, and if George St. Pierre wasn't ruling the welterweight class with an iron fist, I have a feeling that Rory MacDonald would be at the top of that division. But BJ Penn knows that this guy's a killer, has brought in some killers himself to help him prepare for this. Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley, Josh Thompson, Pat Healy, so many guys, as well as the Mendez brothers. And you can go online and see BJ Penn right now at 175 pounds.
He's looking good.
Looks good, and I'm sure he's going to perform to the best of his abilities, and I think he's going to surprise a number of naysayers.
Should be fighting at lightweight. Will still be a fun fight, in my opinion. Keeping on the Canadian tilt, Nick Denis announcing his retirement. Retires with a record of 11-3, John. We saw him debut back in January. A knockout of the night bonus, no less. And then, even in losing to Rolly Delorme, one of the most exciting rounds of the year. This was a real promising bantamweight. So, unfortunately, seeing him retire at the age of 29.
Well, I mean, not really unfortunately, because he just wants to take care of himself, and that's the most important thing. I think a lot of fighters should kind of take a page out of Nick Denis' book and know when it's time to hang up the gloves. He says he's achieved all that he wants in the world of mixed martial arts, and now he's going to go on a different journey and discover himself, if you will.
Well, I think his manager might miss some of those knockout of the night bonuses that came his way. As we move on over, Invicta has announced that they will be returning January the 5th. That means, John, that the first 8 weekends out of the first 9 weeks of 2013, we have big MMA cards. So the glut of shows only continuing into the new year. But I'm happy to see Invicta solidifying a date that's going to be headlined by Shayna Baszler returning to action.
Yeah, the one thing I have to wonder, though, is how Invicta is going to survive now that the UFC has decided to adopt women's mixed martial arts. I mean, we know that Ronda Rousey is going to be making the move, which means the bantamweight division. But what about for other divisions? I mean, to me, I don't think you need to make a fight between Ronda Rousey and Cyborg Santos. I think that Ronda Rousey is the star in the women's bantamweight division. Why not make Cyborg the star in the 145-pound division? I think that if they want to expand women's mixed martial arts, they can't just focus on one top draw, and that being Ronda Rousey. I think they have to really open it up to a number of athletes and use their personalities and use their skills and everything that comes with it. So, I mean, I'm curious to know how Invicta will survive this.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see, too. Denis said he's open to Ronda Rousey and another female coaching male fighters on The Ultimate Fighter. I say just go all in, involve all these other women in terms of an all-female edition of The Ultimate Fighter. Do you think that would cater to what is predominantly a male audience?
Yeah, I think so. I think it makes a lot of sense. You're trying to build stars, and the way to build stars is by using that UFC, the Ultimate Fighter model, because simply a lot of people have never seen the women fight, and the way you get interested is by seeing their personality, seeing what they do outside of the cage and maybe in the training room. So I think, yes, don't focus on having the girls coach guys. Have the girls coach the girls. We all benefit.
Or mix them together.
Yeah, right.
Male and female teammates. I think that would work, Sarah.
Well, what would happen if I took on John Ramdeen?
You'd probably beat me.
Ratings would go through the roof on FX.
Totally. Okay, thanks, guys. So if you check out our Facebook page or Twitter page right now, you can find all the details for our big Hitman Absolution giveaway. And we also have a great promo going on for the next United Boxing Promotions event. So just visit facebook.com/Fight Network or twitter.com/FightNet. All right, coming up next, we're taking a look at the new Hitman game.